Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, a magnificent morning. Yes. Again, the beautiful reminder that you get to choose, that I get to choose, that we all get to choose. And what is it that we get to choose? We get to choose how we're going to think. Write this in your notes again. I always have a choice. And that's what we go over time and time again in these wonderful, beautiful calls here in Master Your Mind, which is all about helping you to master your mind. You know that when you master your mind, you become a master of your life. You're no longer a slave to the tyranny of second causes. And you know what? That's amazing. That's an incredible way to live. And what's even more beautiful than that is you get to choose it. It's not something that's just a fantasy. I mean, it's got to be a fantasy in the beginning, but with that being said, it's not something that stays that way. It's something that it can actually become your reality, provided you actually engage with making those changes inside. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of what's happening in your inner world. Your inner world's a world of thought. The kingdom of heaven is the kingdom of thought. And in that kingdom, if you enter into that kingdom, it will set you free. It will lead you to some really great changes. That is, provided you make some really great changes inside. Did you catch that? If you want great changes on the outside, you must first make those great changes on the inside. See, that's cause and effect. Like causes lead to like effects. Everything produces after its kind. It's a big theme throughout the Good News book, the Bible. And that's something that's important for you to get. It's a principle. And principles, remember, they're immovable. They always get enforced, regardless of whether or not you're knowledgeable or ignorant of them. And when you engage with them, you work with them, that's when a lot of the stress gets removed from your shoulders. That's when you begin to realize that you were never stopping you. You were never in the way, that you were never fighting against yourself, that you were not self-sabotaging. That's when you begin to realize, oh my God. And yes, God is in you, that you're powerful. And yes, indeed, you are powerful. It's just a matter of becoming aware of that hidden power, is what Thomas Troward refers to. And that's what we're hoping that you get for you in these calls. That's what we work on here in ourselves, both Dolly and I, as we dove into using this material for ourselves. We found out, oh my gosh, it works. And now we're working to help to transfer to you so that you can be in control. Now, with that, what have we been studying? We've been studying this beautiful gem here, the Master Key System. So make sure that you have a copy of this. If you want to read along exactly word for word, page for page, then get this copy. Don't get the other ones. If you want to read along exactly with us, get this copy. And then also make sure that you have with you your gold card. Now, do not underestimate the power of this. With that being said, with full clarity, I will say this, that you don't manifest what you write on the gold card. You don't even manifest what's on a vision board. You don't even manifest affirmations. What you manifest is how you feel about them. How do you feel about this? Because that's what's going to determine the extent to which it is revealed into your outer world. You know, that's something that most people miss. And I'm so grateful for Charles Haanel revealing that. You know, in some of the previous chapters, he pointed out how, yes, the law of attraction is very important. With that being said, the law of attraction, it automatically happens. And he pointed out how the law of attraction is dependent on the law of vibration, which is the law of feeling. And the law of vibration is dependent on the law of love. You want this to become a material fact in your life? Fall in love with the idea. Fall in love with the version of you that makes that old version obsolete. Don't give life to the precedent. Don't give life to what's happening right now. Don't give life to what's been. Instead, give life to how you'd love things to be. Now, with that, I will say that there is nothing harder that you will do. There's nothing that shrinks the minds of more men and women than that of sustaining consecutive thought. It's the hardest work in the world, especially when truth, when what you would love is contrary to what you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. But when you do that, when you hold on the screen of your mind how you would love things to be, regardless of the facts, you have power. You can get what you want. And that's what we're wanting you to see. This is why these calls are so important, because it's a beautiful reminder of that power. And what's beautiful is through the repetition. And by the way, how many of you have been enjoying that repetition? Has it been pretty cool? Listen to it again and again and again. Well, when you have that, it embeds it within you subconsciously, which then leads to the results changing. Why? Because your subconscious mind is a loyal servant, but it's not loyal to you. It's loyal to what you've made important. And you get to make important whatever you want. So with that, use what we're talking about here. Now, you ready? Are you ready to go into where we left off? Let's go there right now. Here we go. Boom. Now, we went into this in the previous call, but we're going to go over it again because of how amazing this is. And I'm going to actually start from this section here on page 345, section 3 at the end. And what he says here is, our ability to think is our ability to act upon this universal substance. And what we think is what is created or produced in the objective world. Now, I adjusted this to be something deeper. And instead of what we think, it's actually how we're thinking. In other words, what we believe to be true, the habits we have. So you don't become what you think about most of the time. You become how you're thinking most of the time. So let's rephrase this. Our ability to think is our ability to act upon this universal substance. And how we are thinking is what is created or produced in the objective world. What are the dominant thoughts in your mind? What's the image that you're holding? What are you repeatedly engaging with in the realm of thought? That's what's created or produced in the objective world. You want a practical example of this? Just look at the physical things that are in the room that you're in right now that were made. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. All things were made by imagination. And without imagination was not anything made that was made. See, that's a reference to holding an image on the screen of your mind, being emotionally involved with it, loving it. When you look at the device that you're watching this on, I got news for you. That device is there because somebody held that on the screen of their mind. And lots of other people held it too as well, with the leadership of the one who was holding it in the first place, which then led to the mechanics. In other words, how it was created, which then led to the actual making of the thing. And now you have the thing. Someone took it from the no thing and turned it into something. And you could do that for you, for anything. You could do that for this, for you. If you just be loyal to it. If you just love it. It doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what's happened. What matters is, how are you going to think now? Because that's what's going to determine your destiny. Think about that. You're the one that's in control. Why? Because you could think whatever you want. You could think what you please. If to think is to form, you can form what you please. Again, here, your ability to think is your ability to act upon that universal substance, which is shapeable, it's moldable. You make it into whatever you want. Want to earn more? Change your lifestyle? You want to feel better? Guess where it all starts? In that wonderful, beautiful mind of yours. And also keep in mind that there is no limit to what you can imagine. Think about that. The only limitations you have are the ones that you've agreed to. Don't agree to the limitations. You don't have to. But why do we? There's where the habits come into play. It's the beliefs that are embedded within us subconsciously. Remember, you have a choice. Now, before we move further, those of you who are watching this live stream and are connecting with this, if you'd love to participate with this more and watch the remainder of these calls and watch the replays, which are highly valuable, then do yourself a favor and go to elevitality.com and register for